What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fantastic Duo Show. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. If you are with us, hit that share button to show you my own viewers know that I am here with the one and only Steve Bridges. What's up, Steve?
What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome to the Fantastic Duo Show with me and Alex here. Thank you guys for joining us on our first live ever episode here on Twitch. So we're very excited about that. And of course, we could not do this without having a really awesome guest on here for our first live show. So you guys all know him and love him. One of my favorite Rangers as well too. We've got Mr. Wes from Power Rangers Time Force, my good friend Jason Faunt. What's up? Oh, look,
There
I love how he's
is,
got Jason Faunt. He's got the Red Ranger screen in the background.
To shoot it all right there, guys. Thank you for having me on. This
is
exciting.
legit. What's up, brother? How you been?
He's taking
I've been
over.
good.
Yeah.
I've been good. Yeah, I put that up on my screensaver with Zoom, and then I forgot it was there, and then I realized every time I have a Zoom, it has to do with Wes. So
It's
there it is.
brilliant, man. It's brilliant. That's awesome. Yeah, so I think before we get into all of it, I think it's just important to just take a couple of seconds, right, Alex? I think we need to take a couple seconds and just address, all that stuff that's going on, with all the protesting and everything like that. I'm not a big political person, so I don't want to get too much into it or anything like that. You guys can feel like to add anything if you want. But, when it comes to, the protesting and stuff, against all the brutality, which is obviously disproportionately aimed at Black and brown people, man, it's awful for sure. And, we just, we support you, but we just will hope everybody stays safe out there, because it's crazy, and, I really don't see a solution, I realize you guys are doing what you have to do and everything like that, because it's been so deep seated in our culture for so long, like it's finally like everybody's fed up. And I wish I had an answer, so all I can say is, hey, listen, we support you, but I hope you guys stay safe. So I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to say to that or add to it or, anything, but that's my thought on it.
Yeah, Jason, go ahead, man, if you have anything to add.
I think the key to this kind of stuff, guys, is communication. People have to have a voice. Everyone has to talk. A lot of times you find it when you communicate, you're going to see similarities in people you may not have realized. And you're going to see a lot of likeness and understanding. So communication's big. Everybody needs to communicate and everybody needs to listen because everybody has a voice, and hopefully peace, love, unity, and we'll get through this.
That's what we're hoping for.
I agree. Listen, I came to this country. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I lived in Jersey all my life until I went and became a Marine. And as a Marine, you don't know color or anything like that. You just fight as one. And luckily, I grew up in a time where everybody was just chill. So it's very hard, and I hope that sooner than later, all of this just kind of passes on, and we understand that we need love and we need to respect each other. That's like the number one thing,
Cool. Appreciate you guys on that, man. But anyway, yeah, I like to bring it back to our Twitch, on our show. We like to keep it fun. We talk about all kinds of things, pop culture and just all of that nerdy, geeky stuff, which is why it's perfect for Twitch. And so I like to keep it in that thread. And all that being said, man, Faunt. So Faunt has been my friend. I met Faunt. When did I meet you? Must have been like 2014, maybe something like that. That was probably the first time I ever met you.
Yeah, it's been at least 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, it's been probably close to like 6 years. I did a Comic-Con in Lexington, Kentucky. And, when we started doing these conventions, I started meeting all of the different Rangers from different seasons that I never worked with or had the chance to work on screen with, but there was that fraternity. There was that union, so to speak, like there's, this group that like we're Rangers, you know what I mean? So like we're all part of this like circle that, is very small in the grand scheme of everything. So automatically this was my boy right away. You know what I mean? Like we hit it off right away, just because we had the Ranger thing in common first. And then he's just a good dude, as you'll find out as we talk to him today. So, what was it? It was Lexington, right? Lexington Comic-Con. I think that was the first time I met you.
Yeah, maybe Lexington, maybe Tampa. For some reason, Tampa comes to mind.
I think it was Lexington because that was the first time that I met Aaron Cahill as well.
Okay.
She was there, and Allison McKinnis was there at that show as well. JDF
Yeah.
was there, a couple other people, and we, I remember us all hanging out. So that
Yeah.
was definitely the first time.
Okay. That sounds about right. Lex, yeah, that what a great show that is, because that's when I think we all kind of meet for the first time, and then we all go out and we go to dinner together. And
Hmm.
then hijinks ensue, and now Steve and I are very close.
Indeed, man. Cool. Alex, what do you have any little things that you wanted to talk about first? I know Jason Faunt has, some different stuff going on right now. I thought maybe you could touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So Jason, let's really quickly, man. I'd like to touch on how did you get really quickly involved with Time Force? Was that something that you were always wanting to do? Was your acting career like taking off at that moment, and you saw that this is something you got to jump on?
At the time I was kind of getting into the soap opera world. I had
Oh,
gotten
I didn't know that.
yeah, I'd gotten on the soap opera Passions. I'd gotten down to like the final handful of guys for this 3-year contract role. Jesse Metcalf ended up getting it, and he's done pretty well for himself. And then they gave me this other role for the role of Carson, who was an ancillary character on the show. And then I started to read for Port Charles, which was another big soap opera. Went down to the final calls for this 3-year contract role, didn't get it. And then I got the role of Kane, which was someone who came on the show briefly as kind of a guest star. So the soaps were kind of the way it was going. Power Rangers, as I tell people, was just an audition that went well. I read for Galaxy, I read for Lightspeed, and then the 3rd year, it just the auditions come up again. I went up there, and then finally, my character and my personality kind of aligned, and I finally booked it. But yeah, I was in the soap opera world for a bit.
Wow, that's incredible. The soap opera world. I mean, that's intense. Like
Yeah,
I did a little bit of acting back in my day, like on stage, but soap operas is something else, man. So
yeah.
now years pass, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just finished watching Time Force, and I'll tell you why. It's because I was in the Marine Corps. I left, so
Mhm.
that's I'm aging myself there a little bit, but I missed the whole Time Force era of Power Rangers, so I just rewatched it. You did great. You played two characters, which is what we talk about all the time, which is pretty funny. And
Mhm.
so now you're what happened after you left the show? Can you fill us in on what you've been doing? I know one of the big things right now is Legend of the White Dragon, which we'll get into, but fill in a little bit of the gap in between that.
I think when the show ended, 9/11 happened towards the end. There was a writer's strike. And to be totally honest, I had fell into some hard times. I thought that maybe there'd just be this upward trajectory, but life has a way of throwing you curveballs, and I was not an exception to that rule. So it took some adjustment, and I had to kind of retool myself, kind of rebrand myself, continue to audition, continue to stay involved. But yeah, there was some rough years going after that, and then finally, to be honest with you, the Comic Con world is what kind of kicked me back on my feet. I was kind of out of the circuit a bit, still doing little bits and pieces here and there, and someone said, "You got to come do this Comic Con for this thing called Morphicon in Pasadena." I go, "Nah." I go, "There's been 10 Red Rangers since I left. I know the original guys are all popular. Why would anyone want me to be there?" And they said, "Trust me, Time Force has really created this niche." So I went thinking I was going to be the guy in college that was going back to the high school prom. And turns out it was really successful. It got me back into that world, helped build up my brand. And now my acting side is really kicked back into gear.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me too, like after I left Power Rangers, man, I didn't have anything to do with Power Rangers or anything like that for like 10 years. And then in like 2007, they had approached me to be part of Power Morphicon. And then that was the first time that I had seen, in person and up close, how much the fans still loved us and how much they supported us. People came from all over the world to that convention, and I remember walking into the hotel lobby, and when I did, like, everybody just stood up and like cheered, and I was like, whoa, God, this is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, it was very cool, and that was the
Yeah.
very first Morphicon. It was probably that
was the first one.
the very
2007?
first one. It was it was done inside a hotel in a big hotel ballroom in downtown LA. And Man, but I think probably for that one it was a small. There was probably only about 1,000 people that showed up. But for me, I didn't know what Comic Cons were like or what they could be like. So I mean, man, I thought, damn, there's thousands of people here. It's crazy. And they were all there for us, and they had flown in from England and Australia and all around the world to come and meet us. So I thought that was really cool, and that just showed a testament, to the impact I think that our show had on people, not necessarily
Yeah.
myself or Jason per se, but the show itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
also, actually, let me just say real briefly, we've got people that have that are
Yeah.
following us here on the Twitch. They've been jumping in and saying hello to us and stuff like that. So I just briefly want to say hello to everybody. Thank you guys for joining in on the conversation. If we see anything on here that we want to touch on, we'll definitely jump in but definitely people are showing a lot of love to Jason Faunt. A lot of love to everybody here. So we're very excited about that, and we appreciate the support so
That's
far.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
going really good. Yeah. So yeah, dude, that's great, Jay. Yeah, like I said with myself, I didn't have anything to do with Power Rangers for a long time, and then the cons started coming up, and then social media started happening around that same time as well too. More and more people were getting on Facebook, all the different other ones, and Instagram came along, and now there was like a way, so to speak, for fans to communicate with us and for us to communicate with them, because for a long time there was a big disconnect, right?
Yep.
Like, with all of our fans were little kids. If we ever did meet any of them, they probably hid behind their mom and wouldn't say anything to us. They were too shy. But now they're
Yeah.
all grown up. They've got a voice, and they like to come and talk to us, and we love to meet them. So I don't know if that's the same. It's been the same experience for you, yeah, bro.
Yeah, it has, and it's as I see different celebrities at these shows, there's a really unique bond that somehow we've all created with our fan base of Power Rangers. It's like it's unique. It's not like other franchises. It's been 26 years. Kids have become dads, and now they're watching with their kids. But it's the kind of thing that they can watch with their kids, the current episodes, and then go back and go look at this is Rocky DeSanto. This is my from my season, and it's
Right.
creating a bonding experience, and it's just a very interesting dynamic that we have with our fans that I don't know. It's just a very maybe Star Trek, but other than that, we're very accessible, and we've been very good with that, and it's been great. It's been great for everybody.
Yeah, it really has. I've always really appreciated that, because at first I didn't really get it or understand, why would somebody be like such a fan of something? When I was a kid, like I was a fan of He-Man, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go to a He-Man convention, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't carry over for me the same way, you know what I mean? So to see that level of commitment and dedication from our fans has just been humbling and overwhelming to me. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it, man.
Man, the
And I
thing.
think a lot of our fans, they've really created their own special bonds within their fandom, and they go and it's like a big reunion. They get to see their friends. People are meeting from all over the world. I mean, people start dating from these things. It's a very unique, amazing experience. These Comic Cons, that's for sure.
It's a big
Yeah, that's
community,
true.
right? It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, as a person who goes to them, I mean, like that's what you see. And Steve and I spoke about this in the last podcast, and we kind of came to the conclusion that it's a great place where people don't seem to get judged, right? Their characters come out, who they are, and they can live through the Comic Cons, and their characters that they love so much without ever being looked at any differently because everybody's just there
Right. There's no
together.
judgment at
Yeah,
Comic Con. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can be as freak as you want to be, and people are respect.
Yeah.
Uh, it's cool. Whereas if like you dressed up like that and went to 7-Eleven or Target, well maybe not Target, but someplace like that, you might be looked at kind of weird in the rest of regular society. So, it's definitely a place where people of all different types of geekdom are welcome, and I've always found that very cool and very interesting.
Mhm.
yeah. So Jason,
Absolutely.
really quickly, man. So you've been doing all these cons, and you get introduced back into the world of Power Rangers. Bring me up to speed. How'd you get? Did they call you to get into the Super Ninja Steel episode where they brought
Oh yeah, yeah.
when they brought you and Steve back? How did that all occur between you guys? You guys can take the story over here because a lot of us probably want to listen to this.
Go ahead, Jay. Tell us how it happened for you.
Well, for me, it appeared to me that they had sent out kind of a mass email, as from what I understand, to find out who was even available, because it was kind of announced pretty quickly. And it sounds to me they found out who's available, and then once they found out who to pick from, they kind of started to determine, okay, we want to get different ethnicities, different genders in there, find out who's representing the brand well and still involved. So I think that's kind of how it worked out. I was lucky to be on the short list because I've had continued a good relationship, with Chip
the
Lynn,
producers,
yeah, with the producers. So that was always kind of nice. And Time Force has always been popular. So, but then we got the call, and for me with Power Rangers, if they invite me back, I'm always the first to raise my hand and go, because I just enjoy the experience. So
of course, same way, like I even told them when they asked me, who might be willing to come and be part of the show. We got emails from the producers, and I was like, I'll do it for free. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care about the money about it. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to give back to the fans. I've been doing these cons for such a long time now. All the fans are asking when I'm going to come back. So many other people have had the opportunity to come back. And I was like, as soon as I get the opportunity, believe me, I'll do it. And if I got to do it for free, I'll do it. Like, I mean, they did pay me, but I'm just saying I would have done it for free and still would,
yeah.
So anytime they'll ask me back, I'll gladly go back.
That's awesome, man. That's really good to hear. Like, I mean, so the fraternity is real. Like, you guys look like you're never gonna be out of the limelight. And then I also spoke to Steve about this, the Boom Comics, reintroducing everyone. Don't you have a story coming out on the Boom Comics series soon?
Yeah, it's a weird year because next year's the 20th anniversary of Time Force. The action figure right there just got re-released on
Hasbro.
From
toy
Hasbro?
shelves June. Yeah, Hasbro June 1st.
Oh, nice.
And then,
okay, cool.
Yeah, that just came out June 1st, and then which is already sold out on Amazon and Target, but hopefully they'll I don't know if they continue to make them, Steve, because yours got released. Steve, when? How long ago was yours?
Well, we got a bunch of different ones. This one actually is the Lightning collection that just came out from Hasbro,
Yeah,
the one with my
that's
head
the
on
one.
it and everything like that. This one is fairly new. This one's only been out for a couple months. By the way, this one we're holding up right here is one that we're going to give away on a prize this week that
Awesome.
our main man, Alexis Cardoza, is going to pick out for pick one of our Twitch followers or one of our Spotify followers, whoever. We're going to definitely, and then we'll make an announcement with that person next week as well, letting that person know who won, and then we'll get it out to them. So make sure you guys are following us, because this is only for people that are following us on Patreon or Twitch, right?
Yeah, yep, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, with the toys coming out, like this one is fairly new, but they're always coming up with different ones. So you've got one that's coming out in June. It's going to be the Time Force one.
It just came out last week.
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had some things going on in the world, so the Wes Collins reveal didn't get the attention. But yeah, it came back on shelves, and I guess my question to you, Steve, is: do they continue to make your figure, or are they going to push it out and then be done? How do they do that with yours?
I have no idea. I mean, like, because I was on two different seasons with two different like sets of uniforms and Zords and all that stuff like that. I imagine they're gonna keep making it. Like with Legacy, I think the Legacy ones that Bandai did, like they took it like as far as they could go with my characters, but now Hasbro's reintroducing all of it again. So for me, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
keep recycling it as much as possible. Let's get some cool shit out there. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. But
Yeah.
but they're not going to just make yours now and then stop making them, right? I mean, I got to think I
Yes.
can still buy yours right now. Right?
That I'm not sure. I mean, I don't. It doesn't seem like they're doing like a limited run of things, but I would imagine that after demand kind of goes down for it, I don't think they'll make them anymore.
Gotcha.
But it's not like any of these are a limited run. They're doing, hey, we're only making 50,000 of these, or we're only making 100,000 of them, or something like that. That I'm not really sure about, Jay. Honestly, I don't know. But they'd have to make two characters for you, right?
Yes, right. The good thing is all they have to do is make another head. They just pop the other one right on there.
Right, I know, right? They'll have to put two, one for Wes and one for Alex. Actually, Alex and I were talking about that your name came up in one of our other podcasts, because we were talking about how you got to be two characters, and because it was a union show, you got paid twice. Which I always thought was like, bastard, you got paid two times.
Yeah, somehow when you come on set as a different character, it's you get paid for that guy. So I didn't understand it. I didn't argue it. They just said They just
I
said,
wouldn't
yeah, you
either.
get paid. And I'm like, oh, I go, yes, that's the
Getting
rule.
paid twice as much as all my castmates. I'm not going to make an argument about that whatsoever.
So it worked out. It worked out well. And I wish they would have flushed Alex's story out a little bit more, because there was a lot to be done there. But it's Power Rangers, so sometimes not every story gets told, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, there's only so much you can pack into 22 minutes, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's it.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
but back then we were all filming in LA at the time. So even though I had never met Faunt or anything like that, we were all filming in LA. And then I think right after that they moved the whole entire show to New Zealand. So for us to go back to that reunion episode, we went to New Zealand. Was that your first time in New Zealand?
You know, I went back for the Megaforce reunion.
Oh,
like
that's
3
right.
years
That's right.
earlier.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
that was my first
they
time.
took wow, the experience at Ninja Steel was much better. Just because we were there a long time, they took more time with that script, and of course, the people that went to Ninja Steel, with all due respect to the first one, I knew everybody more. I knew you better. We were friends. JDF
Right.
and I were friends. Kat had become very close to me. You know, Ciara I've known, so it's like I kind of felt closer to you guys on that
Right.
second one.
Whereas
So
before it was just a bunch of extras got slapped together.
yeah, but we were hanging out for 2 or 3 weeks every morning, having breakfast together, and so it was nice, you know.
Yeah. You know, the only thing about that, and I think, you know, we're going to have Austin on here, guys, Austin St. John on Thursday. So make sure you guys tune in for that. But they were actually letting Austin talk about the fact that he's going to be on one of these reunion episodes. But for us, we had to keep it a secret. Right? Remember that? They wouldn't even let us announce it. Like when we were doing all these conventions and all of these appearances everywhere, we had to keep our mouth closed about it. And for a year and a half almost, right? It was like a year and a half.
That was hard too.
It was really hard, you know what I mean? Like we couldn't post anything on social media when we were out there filming. Like I'd always have to geotag I was somewhere else. You know, I took a picture of the beach in New Zealand. I'm like Malibu, California. You know? So that was a kind of a pain in the tits for sure. But I don't know what else. Yeah, but they wouldn't let us talk about it at all. And I was frustrated by that because I felt like they missed an opportunity there in a sense. Would you agree? Like, because if we would have been all around the country and all around the world for a year and a half promoting that we were going to be doing this reunion episode, you know, I think we would have had a lot more, you know, response to it, you know, a lot more
would have geared
feedback
it up
from
nicely.
It would have
It would have
geared
teed
it
it
up
up
for
nicely.
sure, because there would have been all the forums talking about it for the longest time and speculating and all that cool stuff. You know, I mean, just created a buzz around it that would have like added more to it. So I think they did it right with letting people know that Austin's going to be back for the Beast Morphers thing. We don't know when it's happening. It's probably going to be in the fall before it comes out, but I think that people are talking about it a lot more as a reason. So
Yeah, I agree.
So you guys now are working on another huge project, right? Jason, you got something going on here in the next couple of weeks, months, I don't know, maybe forever. With the way things goes with Power Rangers, they last forever. And of course, I'm talking about the Legend of the White Dragon. Bring us into this world. What's going on here? This is kind of like taking the world by storm. You guys destroyed your the amount that you guys,
GoFundMe.
yeah,
They were doing. You
yeah,
guys were
your
doing a
Kickstarter.
GoFundMe, yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
You guys destroyed your Kickstarter. So bring us into now. We're good. We love Time Force. We love that you're getting all this love with the figure, and you're getting your own story on Boom Comics from what I saw. By the way, where the hell is your movie, your Time Force movie? That should have been out as well, right? You guys deserve that.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah,
You know, the good thing,
of course you have.
yeah. I'm my own biggest fan. Steve knows that.
Right. Yeah. See, let me get paid twice now on the Time Force movie. I get paid 2 characters.
Oh, yeah. Well, Boom Comics comes out with the Time Force sequel in October, so that's supposed to continue the Time Force journey. You know, post when our season ended. So I'm excited to see what happens. But that'll be big in October. And Legend of the White Dragon, it's you know, I'm only there as an actor. You know, Jason David Frank partnered with Bat and Son, and they started to create this concept about it's not Power Rangers, but it's a group of people who had powers that lost them. The world is decimated, and they're trying to find the White Dragon to get together to create these powers as a group to fight evil, which is taken over.
Right.
And they created the concept not knowing, I don't even know, to be totally honest, not knowing what kind of response it would get on Kickstarter. The goal, we set a goal at 100 grand and it got 509,000.
Fantastic.
So huge. Yeah. So now we know that instead of one episode, they're going to make now we're going to go for a film. So, but they didn't know what kind of funding we would have going in. So that's changing the dynamic of the script and what we can do. So all that's getting done right now. So I have not even seen the final script.
Right.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I'd definitely be interested to see what that's about. And hopefully, with all the funding now, maybe they'll think about bringing some of us back, especially if they make it into a movie or a longer feature length. Bring some of us back for cameos. Holler at your boy.
Yeah.
Add Steve to the LOTWD or whatever. Yeah, hashtag add Steve. We're going to put that. That's the new trend right there. Yeah, I'm excited about the possibility of that as well too, because I just love working with my Ranger family, and this seems like an awesome project. So I'm pretty excited about that. But either way, whether I'm in it or not, you've got my full support with it. I'm very excited about it. Jason Frank is obviously one of our very good close friends, and anything that he does, we always stand behind it and support it. So that's very cool. I think we forgot to mention, we kind of breezed over that Faunt and I did a movie together. Actually, that wasn't Power Ranger related at all. Remember that, bud?
Yes, right. That's right.
Yeah.
Bring it up. What was this all about?
Yeah. So there's a movie that we did called Beast of the Water. And again, this all happened through Comic-Con. I was at Comic-Con one time, somewhere in upstate New York, I think. And this guy comes up to me, and he was one of the people that was on the show called Face Off. Do you guys remember the TV show Face Off, which was that creature creator show where there was 8 people that would compete, and one person got eliminated every week till they found the winner. So this guy did all of these like creature creations, makeup, special effects, and practical effects and stuff. So this guy was amazing, and he came up to me. This was like a 3 or 4 years ago. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you." I'm like, "Oh, hey, cool, nice to meet you." We were on the show as guests together. He was signing autographs for his show. I was signing autographs for Power Rangers, and we got to talking. And he was like, "Yeah, we've got this movie that we're going to be doing, and I'm doing all the creature effects for it and stuff like that. And man, it would be great if we could have you involved with it." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, sounds good." You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't think much of it because I'd never met the guy before. I didn't know how for real he was or anything like that. So I didn't think anything of it, and then probably like a year later, or maybe even a year and a half later, the guy calls me up and he's like, "Hey man, what's up? You remember me from the Comic-Con we did, Face Off?" He's like, "We're ready to start filming this movie now. We're going to be filming the whole thing in Nashville." And I was like, "Wow, okay, great." I'm ready. So they sent me a script and they told me all about it. And at the time it was called something else. It was called Inuate. Which is like a Native American word for like some kind of like a spirit. And that's kind of what this creature was like. So this whole movie, I don't know, what do you kind of liken it to? Faunt, Predator, maybe? If you watch the whole
Avatar,
movie?
it's kind of like an Avatar and a Predator.
Yeah.
Because it's, we go into their lands, and this beast is protecting these sacred lands from when these Indians have been slaughtered years ago. It's protecting everyone new that comes in. But remember, they're trying to find the Fountain of Youth. So
yeah, I think that was their main goal. Like there's like a big corporation that was that had this lead on, they think maybe they were going to discover like some kind of a fountain of youth. So they send these scientists out, researchers out to go find it and go explore and see if this is actually a thing. And accompanying them were these corporate military like umbrella corporation type douchebags that were having to follow them around to keep them protected out there. And lo and behold, we're all become the hunted because of this beast. But Faunt's character, we weren't actually on screen together because your part of the movie was in the beginning when it was showing like the period piece back in like the 1700s or something like that, right?
Yeah,
my piece the settlers.
Yeah, the settlers came in and were killing off the Indians, and my character was the main settler leader. That once he killed the main what's the name of the main elder statesman
chief?
Indian?
Yeah, the main chief or something.
Yeah, that's what basically created the spirit that then protected that land. So we all got killed from that point on.
Yeah. So it was fun to work on, and it was cool to like to be working closely with Jason on that as well too. Because I remember I had said to the guys, I said, "Hey, I've got like another Power Ranger friend. Like, if you want to bring him in," they were like, "Yes, bring him in." So they automatically, like, Jason Faunt just got in by because I was like, "Yo, bring my boy," So that was really cool. Like, they wanted him right away when they found out he might could possibly be part of it, and also to our good friend Gigi Edgley was part of it as well too. Our other good friend Santiago Cirillo, who was Julio on The Walking Dead, he was in the movie as well too, and
Radio.
yeah. So there was it was a lot of fun working on that because, before I had mainly just done Power Rangers. So I've always done this goody two shoe type character and never got to do anything that was like so, dark, and, like you see me and I'm cursing and I'm smoking and I'm carrying a big machine gun and, like just that is like the meat of, of acting for me. Right. Is that same for you, Font, where you get known for like one type of thing and then all of a sudden you get to do something completely different, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to explore different things because with Power Rangers, you're the hero, you're the good guy, so you've got to keep in that superhero box. If you're too silly, it doesn't work. If you're too mean, it doesn't work. So there's that little box that you gotta play within. But when
Mm-hmm.
you get to play different characters like Steve and I got to, anything goes. If you feel like spitting on the ground during a take, or you feel like grabbing somebody by the face, I mean, anything goes when you're a bad guy or a tough guy like
Yeah,
that. So that makes
they
it fun because you can do whatever you want. And it's kind of within the rules of the game.
yeah, they definitely let us do a lot of ad-libbing, for our character, and a lot of that stuff stayed in the movie. So if you guys are ever bored, like for example, if you're in lockdown or in quarantine ever, and you've got nothing else to do and you don't mind spending $3, go on Amazon.com and look for Beast of the Water. And by the way, let me stress, it's like if you have an hour and a half that you don't mind ever getting
Oh
back.
God.
Because it's pretty cheesy, but if you want to see a low budget film with Jason Font and I in it, by all means, please come check it out.
Yep.
If you got nothing else to do, watch Beast of the Water. It was a lot of fun to work on, and it would be a lot of fun for you guys to be able to see it. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing about it so hard.
It's
pretty
it's
ridiculous.
probably something that you're replaying in your head right now, and this is
Oh,
what
there's
you're
probably
laughing.
lots of
Yeah.
memories like that.
Yeah.
One thing that was really cool about it though was the practical effects that were in it. The creature that this guy came up with, okay, Rashad Santiago, that was the director. This creature he created is very very cool looking and looks very realistic, and it's so big, the suit is so big, the guy inside the suit,
Oh, that's right.
he was like 7'7", right, Font? The guy
Yeah.
inside the suit, 7'7". He's huge, man. Um, he was a massive, massive guy, and when he put the whole apparatus on and all that, he was almost 9 feet tall. This
Wow.
creature. So standing up against that, I mean, we had big names in there. Like we had EC3 from
WWE?
from WWE. He was in the movie, and also Tyrus
wow.
Smash. He was in the movie as well too. And these are big
Yeah.
dudes. Like I don't know if you probably weren't there for when they were filming, right? You missed that part of it. Well, anyway, I mean, these guys are big guys. I mean, they're like 6'7" of themselves, but when they stood next to this creature, they look like nothing. So that was pretty cool part of it as well too, just to see that dynamic.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah,
Really, I want to take a really quick pause here as we continue to talk to Jason and Steve continues to reminisce about big giant men in suits. You know, I'd like to thank absolutely everyone right now that's in the chat room hanging out with us. If you're listening to the podcast later on, when we mention chat rooms, because we do go live on Twitch, and this is a great way for us to interact and read what you guys, the fans, are putting out, and definitely if you have any questions, put them up there. Hopefully we can get to them. If you guys want to watch the replay of the video, or happen to miss the stream, we do have a Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com, Fantastic Duo. And you can go on there for $4. Not only do you get the show, sometimes you're gonna get ads on here live, but you won't get ads on the show there. Okay?
Right.
So
if you want to see it ad free, you can see it ad free on there.
On there.
Being either on Twitch or on Patreon, by the way, also qualifies you for the prizes that we give away
Yes.
weekly. Like I said, we're doing the signed lightning autograph figure we're giving away. Also, we're gonna coerce Faunt into giving away some autograph stuff for us that we'll give away to a winner in a couple weeks as well too. So we'll get him to sign some cool stuff for you guys as well that we'll give
Absolutely.
away on
I'd
a
love to.
prize next week or the week after that. So excited about that.
So
And like I said, if you don't want to, spend money to see the video version of it, then of course everything is free on Spotify
Apple
or an
Podcasts or
Apple
wherever you get
Podcast.
them. Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcast, you can listen to us for free. Just type in Fantastic Duo Show. You can hear the whole thing for free. But visually, you got to see it because it looks so cool with all of our background and graphics and all, and with all the guests that we have on. You kind of want to catch up with them and stuff. So, and plus with Twitch, you can also be part of the conversation as well. So we're excited about all of that. But either way, there's tons of ways that you can support us if you want, and we appreciate
Yeah.
any means that you
And
guys
if
support us
if
for
you
sure.
when Steve mentioned before that you'll be able to be part of the pool of giveaways. Once this channel gets opened up for subscriptions, once you guys subscribe to the channel, because I know it's like $4 or $4.99 to subscribe to the channel, you're automatically going to be put in that same pool as the Patreons. And if you're only a Patreon and you already paid the $4 there, you're automatically given a sub here. So it works in your favor. We're here to do what we can for you as you help us out, and we obviously we're progressing. I mean, the show started out with Steve talking into an iPhone, and now he has a supercomputer, kind of like the one that West used on Time Force,
Nice.
and a microphone and stuff like that. But yeah, so once again, I just wanted to take time out to kind of like give you guys the thanks, because this podcast, believe it or not, this is going to be our 4th show, and it's blowing up. The numbers are actually going up every single time I look at it. I'm a stats nerd,
Yeah,
and
we're
it's really
grateful for
working.
that
We're
for
super
sure.
grateful. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that just means that one day, soon in the future, I don't know how far into the future, maybe the year 3000. We're gonna Jason's gonna have to one day start his own and like give his stories in the back end. Like there's so much. This is the Wild Wild West, and I told this to
Yeah.
Steve before. YouTube is oversaturated right now. Live streaming and podcasting together is the future, and it's really making waves. But anyway, let's continue here with
Good.
Jason. So how did you get involved with did they call you and say, hey, this is Legend of the White Dragon? Did you automatically say, okay, I'm going to jump into this? And I think I saw a Kickstarter before this one, right? Were you part of that original Kickstarter as well?
I was. The truth is that JDF called me and said, "Hey, man, we're gonna do a project, and we just want to have your act. We want to have your. Whoops, sorry. We want to have your. We want to have you there as an actor. And can you be available like next week?" And I was like, "What?" So I said, "Yeah." I mean, it was a one day. I was able to arrange my schedule. We went and did the Kickstarter. I didn't know anything about what was going on, to be totally honest. I was there sight
Wow.
unseen. They
Yeah.
did the Kickstarter. It didn't make it. The times were too short. It was I think they asked for too much. I forget what happened, but it didn't make it. And in the world of Kickstarter, as you may or may not know, if you don't hit the goal, then the money goes back down in the sand and nothing happens. So they kind of retooled and redid some things. There was a little bit of a change that who was involved, and then they retooled up, and then we were going to go forward with it. Then the pandemic hit, and then we weren't sure whether it was the proper time to do it, but we pressed on, and it worked out good. It
So
worked
wait a
out good.
second. I'm reading something here. I don't know if this is actually him, but Kaji Tushin, did I say that right? Says this is JDF, and you have 7 days, monkas. I don't know if that's really him. I'm talking about 7 days. Are you starting filming in 7 days? Is this true, or is this just?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Oh,
You know,
somebody!
like,
There's somebody on Twitch that's chiming in.
oh, okay, yeah. I'm not.
He's
I
trying to
was
say
like,
he's JDF.
oh, okay. He
I
was
love
on
it.
the phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? He has 7 days. Jason's expression is like, what? 7 days?
Yeah, I can't even lift my left arm right now, so I sure hope nothing happens.
So you want to before we get into the
Yeah, you're injured right now, right?
yeah. So what happened, man? Like you said behind closed curtains here, you said that you can't even move your arm.
Yeah, I had a torn rotator cuff and a torn bicep.
Oh,
And it was causing me to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. I couldn't work out. so once the pandemic hit and everybody was stuck at home, I was able to kind of get there towards the first in line to get the surgery done. I figured now's the time. Rotator cuff surgery, if you're not familiar with it, you can't, your arm is immobilized. I mean, I have to be in a sling for 6 weeks. And for 6 weeks from the beginning, it's like someone's bear hugging you and you can't move your arm. It's dead. It's dead.
Mm.
And you can't sleep laying down. You got to sleep sitting up, which is like sleeping on a
Oh,
plane every
that's the
night.
worst.
It's the worst. It's
Oh
been a tough
man.
5 weeks. So, and every 3 4 hours you wake up to take pain meds because the shoulder's a very very
Yeah.
intricate thing. It's not like your knee where you can just lay down and get it done. So it's a 6 weeks in a sling. I can't lift anything more than a cell phone on my left arm for 3 months.
Wow.
So I still got 2 more months of not even be able to lift a plate.
Wow. Well,
So it's
luckily,
tough. You can't drive.
luckily,
You can't do
Faunt can
anything.
lift his cell phone because he needs to be able to talk to everybody here. So
Yeah,
goodness for that.
yeah.
So
But
now,
anyway,
Be able
that's
to
it.
take as many selfies as possible, you know. So
so can you explain your character for us in Legend of the White Dragon? I'm gonna put a picture up of you now while you're talking
actually,
about it.
Alex, I don't think he's allowed to talk about
Oh,
any of that really right now. So I think he's probably to the extent that he's brought like what he's allowed to say. I think because the whole script is sort of like a secret in a sense, right?
Yep,
Right, Jay?
yep.
got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and
So you can't really like they put together this little trailer that they filmed to kind of tease people and get them excited about what the potential could be. But there's a lot that's still going to be shifted around and changing and stuff. So I don't think he could speak to that. I
All
mean,
good.
maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's right.
no,
Yeah.
you're right. They're once we realized what the dollars were, that's going to determine what kind of a script it is. But again, it's like I said, it's its own individual property. It's its own IP. But these are people who had powers. They're lost, and they're trying to get them back to fight evil. So the particulars of the character, they're creating it, and I would tell you that I don't even know what that is just yet.
Got it. Got
Yep.
it.
Boy,
Yep.
we could use it. We could use a team like that right nowadays, huh?
Yes, we could.
It's not far off from the far off future at this point. It seems like
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, man, that's awesome. Well, listen, we're very happy to see you be part of something like this, just ginormous. You're definitely out there. Besides Legend of the White Dragon, have what else do you do? Are you still in the acting scene? Do you? I mean, we haven't even really even touched upon like what you keep yourself busy with, right? Besides the cons.
You know what? Yeah, I've got really a promising situation here. There's two things coming out. There's a movie that I did. I filmed. I spent 2 weeks in the Caribbean filming called Honeymoon in Paradise, and that's a show that kind of goes into the backdrop of what reality show producers will do to elicit real emotions in the actors. So it's about like kind of like a bachelor dating show where a couple that dated years and years ago find themselves both surprisingly on the same show, even though you're not allowed to know the people around there, and they re-fall in love despite the producers trying to push everybody apart. So Honeymoon in Paradise is a rom-com. Hopefully that comes out later this year.
That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And then I did a pilot in Buffalo called For Nothing. There's a 6-part book called For Nothing on Amazon, and they adapted the screenplay, and it's the relationship between the Buffalo and the New York Mafia. Um, the easy sell of it is it's like the next Sopranos, but it talks about the relationship between the Buffalo and New York Mafia, where something goes down which puts them at war with each other. So that's a mafia. So that trailer for that should be out soon. It stars Michael Madsen, Daniel Baldwin, myself, Eve Morrow. There's a lot of great actors in that, but Michael
Nice.
Madsen leads the way with that one, and that
I like
should be
Michael
out.
Madsen. He's one of my favorite actors too. I always
Yeah,
tried to emulate him because I always thought he was so cool, especially in Reservoir Dogs. Just how
yeah,
sinister he was. But with like not being sinister. You know what I mean? Like without
yeah,
like he was like very nonchalant about the fact that he was an asshole.
yeah.
I
It's
always
true.
thought that's very interesting dynamic. So I always thought he was a very good actor. That's cool, man. Tell him
It
I
was
said hi.
cool. I will. Yeah, it was cool to be in the same scene with him and Daniel Baldwin, and the stories that these guys tell. It's crazy when you hear all the stories, especially back in the 80s and 90s in Hollywood. But hopefully that place finds a home at Netflix or somewhere. We'll know maybe in the next month or two. And if that happens, they'll be filming full time in Buffalo, which will be interesting.
Wow,
Well, I'll
that's
tell you
awesome,
what,
man.
I'm out here in the East Coast, and I mean, we're like the bans has been lifted here. Like we're able to go out and hang out. You're able to have big, groups of people out in different locations, outside dining and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of time before everything just like kind of just calms down and everybody's able to meet face to face again. Like
Yeah.
how has this impacted you personally?
You mean the pandemic stuff?
Yeah, I mean, are you obviously I think Steve mentioned that you have you do financial work, like you're a financial advisor, so you're very handy with that stuff. Is that something that you're still able to do while this whole thing was going on?
Yeah, it's the best move I ever made. So once Power Rangers ended for me, and like I said, 9/11 hit. There was a writer's strike. I kind of struggled to find new work for the next year and a half, and I thought, this is crazy. I'm sitting here waiting for the phone to ring. I had my education. I graduated from North Carolina, Asheville, and I thought, what else could I do so I can really embark on a new career and not wait for the phone to ring? So that's what happened. I became a financial planner 16 years ago,
Wow.
and I created a really nice book of business. Created a whole entire client base. And what's great about it is that the way that my work is, if I went, a lot of my guys at the firm may disappear to go golfing for a day. So if I go filming for a day or two, it doesn't affect anything because I can work from my laptop anywhere. So yeah, I've been a certified financial planner for over 16 years now.
That's amazing. By the way, we got a couple people here. Official Camden says, congratulations, Jason. There's people taking notes and sitting there about what's coming out to kind of follow
Yeah,
along.
I see that.
Thank
There's
you.
people that say
Yeah.
I'm taking well, you know what? Speaking of that, like maybe, if people are taking notes on stuff, obviously lots of people out of work, sometimes it's not just feasible, to put together a financial portfolio and stuff like that. But what kind of advice, if any, do you have for people just, that are struggling right now and when it comes to money, because everybody's money's tight for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, there's the highest amount of people unemployed since the depression, 40 million
Ever.
people out of work. That's crazy. So I don't know, like, I mean, maybe you can't speak to that, I don't know, but if you could maybe say something to people at all, I don't know.
Yeah, the thing that the younger generation, there's three things I tell people. One is that every 6 7 years we have some sort of a market correction. 2001, 9/11 happened. 2008 was the banking crisis, and then we've gone through a 12-year run of an upward trend. And here in 2020, now we've got the Corona stuff, which the market's already bounced back. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Unemployment's just dropped down to 20 million. The Dow's up to over 27,000 again. So we bounced back quick. But every 6 7 years you see this stuff, so you can never overreact to these things. You have to just make sure you keep putting these dollars away, and you got to just blaze through it because everything goes back up.
Right.
And that's what I tell people. But secondly, the younger generation has to remember they could theoretically spend more years in retirement than actually working.
Okay.
So if you start seriously working at 25, 30, you work for 30 years, the next generation might be retired for 35, 40 years. So you've got to plan because you might spend more years in retirement than actually working.
Yeah,
And you
people
got
are
to make
living
sure
a lot longer now,
a lot longer. And
That's
and people keep you alive. So it's going to be a drain on the system. You don't want to rely on the government and Social Security. So you got to do the work now because you may have many, and you can't just go get a bartending job at 75, right? So,
Are you
I mean,
sure
Yeah.
about that? I
yeah,
mean,
Steve and I could do that right now. We were in a pinch. We could go somewhere and figure something out, but you can't do that when you're elderly. And the second
Right.
thing is when you start up a plan, a lot of the third thing is the final thing is that people think when you sit down with somebody, you've got to walk in the door 20 grand or 50 grand to start investing. No, you can call up a lot of places, and if you start putting away $100 a month, $50 a month, you can do that. There's a lot of fun families that allow you to do it, so you can just get going on it, and you got to
Right.
start early. Got to
And
start early.
and also, even if, just whatever, for whatever reason you're not in a position to meet with a financial advisor and get something like that going, you can just set up a savings account and just put a little bit of money in there and then forget that it's there. And every week or anytime you get a little bit of money, just take a small portion of that and put it aside. And before you know it, you have all kinds of money saved up, so
Yep,
it's
it adds up.
it really does, so I can attest to like how important that is. So I appreciate you kind of giving people some advice on that, Jay, because
Sure.
like a lot of people are wondering, God, what am I going to do? What can I do? And, maybe for this particular one, there might not, you might not be able to do anything now, but it's going to bounce back. And when it bounces back, let all of this be a lesson for you that in the future, you need to have some kind of something put away, for when this creeps back up again in some form or another, which I have no doubt it probably will, because I feel like it's around now, like the flu, at least until they find a real cure for the vaccination and stuff,
So Jason, a lot of the time, this type of advice goes onto death's ear because teachers, a lot of like high school students or anybody in college that's like even here on the chat, they don't get that type of advice, right? Like we don't get taught at an early age what it means to save money and invest and whatnot. So really quickly, man, just to kind of like educate all of us a little bit more. How do you feel about the real estate market, right? So like, let's say buying a house down south where it's really cheap right now to like buy and invest in on land. Is that something that we should look forward to even through the pandemic as we're moving out of it?
Well, you have to remember two things: that your home is where you live. It's not an investment, right? So wherever you live, we find that a lot of our clients now, they live in their home, they die in their home, it goes to the kids. Your second home is an investment, right?
Yes.
So if you were to buy a house, that's where you live. That's where you're going to spend your days. And then, of course, getting a second place is always good. They're slow moving assets. It takes a long time. But yeah, I always tell people, if you can get a duplex or something like that and start creating cash flow, it's always a good way. It is part of your financial game plan. You still need cash in retirement, but real estate should be a part of every financial portfolio.
Nice.
And
man.
if all else fails, just do a rom-com.
Yeah.
That easy, just go be in a movie. It's that simple.
Yep.
Or
It's that simple.
get your name on, get one character with two different names like he has, and you'll do really well.
Yeah.
So really quick, we want to do something fun here really quick for you guys while you're watching and listening and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we bait and switched to the audience. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about all kinds of geek stuff. And then we started hitting them with the financial stuff.
Yeah, with the financial stuff. So I have 5 questions here that are based on pop culture trivia, right? These are 5 simple questions. You guys can probably because these are things that are happening.
Oh, we're doing the pop culture trivia?
Yeah. These are things that are happening right now. So like, I don't know if you guys should definitely. Actually, you know what?
I got to go back 20 years for my pop culture. I don't know, so we'll give it a shot.
I might add an extra bonus one here that I just saw, with Forbes being thrown in.
All right,
Jason might know this one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the Fantastic Duo show today. Today it's the Fantastic Three.
Fantastic Duo.
Fantastic Duo.
Fantastic Trio.
We will battle for bragging rights, I guess, to see who's the better trivia one for this one. And guys, like I said, we're going to be doing these shows twice a week, so I'm quite sure we'll have Faunt back many times. He's such an awesome guest. Thank you for coming, by the way, too. Appreciate that, brother, and being part of us, help supporting us as well too. That's awesome. That being said, I'm about to whoop your ass on. Maybe not. We'll try.
Let's do this. So it's five or 6 simple questions. This is all like things that are happening right now. Somebody keep score in the chat room for this. All right, are you ready, guys? All right. So
wait. Sorry. What do we do? Do we just shout out the answer if we know? Whoever shouts it out first?
I think. Well, we can't say raise your hand, so let's not do that. I don't even know. Like, so I guess
whoever buzzes in first, we'll go buzz.
Somebody say buzz.
Buzz. Yeah, there we go.
Buzz.
Okay, we'll do it.
Buzz.
In the future, we'll get some.
We're gonna have to get a button.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to send buttons out to our guests.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Here we go. So, all right. Very simple, guys.
Buzz. I'm just kidding.
You know these guys. They're everywhere. What are the names of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's kids?
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Northwest and oh gosh,
I don't know. I knew Northwest, but I don't know. Is the other one West?
Can I give him a hint?
Y'all.
Can I give him a hint? I think. Okay, that's no, not South. It starts with an S though.
It's not Southwest.
Not Southwest. Yeah. By the way, I think weren't you born and raised here, Jason? No, or you live there
in Southern California, SoCal West.
No,
Chicago.
Okay,
Illinois.
There you go. You got North, you got Chicago, and there's 2 more kids.
Oh, Midwest.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Chicago's the name of one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't. But okay,
I'm gonna give it to.
Is it Southeast? No.
Oh my God, you are hilarious though.
I didn't know Chicago. That's crazy. What are the other ones?
So it's Saint, and Psalm. You know, like Psalm. I said that right? Like
That's their
Psalm.
names, Saint West and Psalm. Oh, okay.
North,
See,
Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. Yeah. But you
oh
got
wow.
two,
Okay.
so point goes to Jason because he got two of them. On
Well, he got the point anyway. I mean, he buzzed in first, and he had one answer. I only had the same answer.
Northwest Chicago. These people are. Oh God, it's gonna get bad in the chat room here in a second.
Wow, that's
Oh
crazy.
my God. Okay, cool. Let's
All
go to
right.
the next one because we've only got like 5 minutes left. So
Yeah. Question number 2: What is Joe Exotic's, aka the Tiger King's real name? Did you watch this
I
documentary?
did watch it.
I can't even
Oh.
buzz in on this because I never saw the Tiger King. Everybody kept saying watch it, and I just
I
refused
did
to watch
see
it.
but I forgot. What is
Joseph
it? I
Joseph
forgot.
Passage. Joseph Passage. That is his name.
Oh.
Joseph Passage.
That's a
Yeah.
good question. Joseph Passage. Okay.
All right, you guys. Okay, here. How many kids does Angelina Jolie have?
Buzz.
Ooh, you guys came in at the same time. Oh,
Buzz.
man. Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve. Take it.
that-
But if he
seven.
doesn't get it, I can get it, right?
Yeah.
I say 7.
Oof. No. Jason.
Okay,
Nope.
go ahead, Jace.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Are you looking it up? He's
Six.
looking it up right now.
No, 6.
6 is right.
Six.
Yeah. So that's
6.
2 points for
Okay.
Jason.
I hate all of you. He was looking at his phone. He was like this. 1, 2, 3.
No,
Okay.
my phone is what I'm on right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's on his phone.
too.
Okay, I'll give that to you.
Jason
okay.
should know this one. I'm sorry, Steve. But who did Forbes name the youngest self-made billionaire ever in 2019?
How is this pop culture trivia, by the way?
I don't, because
General trivia.
they're
I
pop
thought we were
culture.
supposed to do pop culture. That's not pop culture. Forbes 500 is definitely not pop culture. Faunt, go ahead, Buzz. I have no idea. I'm a little bit disappointed
I
in
don't
this
know,
pop
but
culture trivia.
I want to say Elon Musk.
No, it was Kylie Jenner. See, she's part of pop culture. That's why that's why that question's on here.
Wow.
Okay, you know
Oh
what?
my god.
Okay, here we go. Steve, you might get this one. Which
I give up. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Who does Michael Scott hit with company property in The Office? You guys
Buzz.
watch The Office? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Dwight?
No, wrong.
I don't know
Oh,
because I
Steve,
don't know all the
Steve.
characters' names.
It was Meredith. It was Meredith.
Oh, Meredith.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right.
Steve, you gotta know that. If you don't buzz now, which actor voiced both Darth Vader and the Lion King's Mustafa?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Okay, go ahead.
I said it who is James Earl Jones?
There we go.
Who is-
So-
who is-
I know I did it like Jeopardy. Oh man.
So
Yeah,
it's
that-
2 to
yeah,
1.
sorry, I
We got
messed
like
up.
2 more questions left here. All right, here we go. Okay, you guys got to know this because this is our generation. How many Harry Potter books and movies are there?
7.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Whoa, what?
Oh, he buzzed first. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jace. You buzzed first.
I was gonna say 6. I won't take your answer, but
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's the answer?
6.
No.
6.
Nope. Okay, so Steve, you get to pick here.
Oh, I got it's 7.
Okay, and how many movies?
3.
8 movies. 8 movies.
Oh my God, on point.
Yeah,
7
because there was
Really?
Deathly Hallows 1 and Deathly Hallows 2, which were part of the same book, which is book number 7. And this is all I know about Harry Potter, by the way. I know nothing else. Don't even ask me.
You got a little.
I don't know the difference between Gandalf and Dumbledore.
All right, here we go. This is for the tiebreaker and the winner. I'm going to go slow here. Which Avenger, other than Captain America, was able to pick up Thor's hammer?
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Ooh, fudge. I don't know.
Oh God.
You said it. You said it besides Captain America. Oh, let's see. I don't know.
I can't remember her name. It was
Oh, Buzz,
God.
Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel. No.
Vision.
No.
Vision.
Oh, Vision. Oh, I forgot
didn't know
about
that.
Vision.
I didn't know that.
All right, here, another tiebreaker. Who wrote? No, you guys are not going to know this.
Is it tiebreaker?
No.
He's like, no, you're not gonna.
No.
Thank you for automatically knowing
He's
that
like,
we're not
these
gonna know
idiots
this.
don't know anything. They're just the ones on screen.
Well,
That is
it was-
horrible.
It was literally going to be who wrote the Twilight books.
Yeah,
I'm
you're right. I don't
blanking.
know that.
I don't know that either.
Yeah, I saw all the
You're gonna have to
Twilights.
dumb down ours to like give us the name of one person in the Marvel movie, so we can say like Thor.
Yeah, right.
All right. I'm
No,
gonna
we
get-
could go a little harder than that, but you understand, we're not like.
No, I know you
Trivia
guys are
Genius.
good. I'm just trying to make sure that I pick one here. Okay, here we go. All right. What you guys ever watch Seinfeld?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we go. What is Kramer's first name in Seinfeld?
Buzz.
Cosmo.
I said Buzz first, and it is Cosmo.
Bing, bing, bing. The winner of the
Sorry.
very first ever fantastic duo.
We are the champions,
Good
my
job, buddy. Good job.
friends. All right, cool. So, wow, that took us right up to the end of the show, huh?
Literally, yeah, that was great.
Wow, that was awesome, man. Well, this has been great, guys. I'm really happy that our first, live show went so well, and we really got to thank our guest, Jason Faunt. Like I said, very good friend of mine. Awesome, awesome guy. Like, just one of the most genuine people you'll ever meet. So I really got to say thank you for taking time out of your day, even though you're injured and stuff, and hurt to spend some time with us and laugh with us a little bit, man. We really appreciate it. So thank you for that. And again, thank you to all of our Twitch people who've been showing all kinds of love right here. This is incredible. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Alex and I both, we really appreciate it. So.
Hey guys, I've got a really amazing Time Force T-shirt I can autograph, and I'll throw that into the the pot for your followers.
Awesome.
And I can have that's the one the new Time Force shirts I've got, so I can send it out your way, Steve, signed, and then you can give it to someone that's following.
I would love that, man. That's so generous of you. Thank you, Mr. Faunt. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So before we let go, Mr. Faunt here, we want to let you guys know a couple things here. Don't forget about the Patreon. You can find us on patreon.com/fantastic duo. That's where you're going to be able to be part of absolutely all of our amazing prices, like the Time Force t-shirt that Faunt eloquently just said he's going to give away, by the way, which he wore during his workout. So it's all sweaty and perfect and ready to go.
Well, hey, some people might be into that, right?
Yeah. You guys could always share here the Twitch with all of your followers and friends to make sure like we continue to build this together as a family. Jason, where can people follow you and all of your work at?
Instagram is where I'm the most available, and I do look at that and try and answer back everybody. And that's just at Jason Faunt. Twitter is at the Jason Faunt, and Facebook is the Jason Faunt fan site. But Instagram is where I want to push everybody. And I do go on there after I post something and try and reply back to pretty much everyone's if I can.
Yes, guys. So follow the Faunt online, please.
And Steve, you want to give us your well wishes and your
everybody can find me pretty much on Instagram or Twitter. It's all Steve Cardenas PR. So find us there.
Yeah,
or find me there anyway. Yeah, and now on the Fantastic Duo show as well.
Yeah, you could also follow the Fantastic Duo show Instagram, where you can find absolutely everything on upcoming people. Which
I just followed you guys today.
Thank
Holla!
You. Don't forget that this Thursday we're going to be right back here again with Austin St. John, one of the maybe oldest Power Rangers ever to ever go on the
oldest. He's on Walker right now. He's got a gray beard and he's Walker. One of the oldest. No, one of the earliest Power Rangers.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me. You guys can follow me, Alexis Cardoza, if you want to. But the Fantastic Duo shows where we're doing all the hard work. Once again, Jason, thank you very much. I appreciate you for being on here with us and being our very first Twitch guest.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And just like that, he just said goodbye and ended his.
Oh, I didn't. I got a phone call and it shoved off. I got a phone call.
He died out for a second, but with that being said, we will let everybody go. Thank you guys, and join us again in a couple days on Thursday, same time, and we'll be here with Austin St. John. So may the power protect you guys, morph up, and stay safe out there.
Later, guys.